Anyway, speaking of somebody who did not snitch, apparently Taxstone has been found guilty on his charges. I'm going to pull up some articles here. And I didn't forget about any presser updates. I didn't forget about that. I got y'all. Make sure to hit the like button for anybody who's pulling up on this live right now. You know what I'm saying? Taxstone case. Sentenced. So this is coming in 13 hours ago from ABC News. And I'll pull this up on the screen for y'all to see. Also, I'll remind you all that the phone lines are open if you would like to contribute to some of the conversation tonight. You know what I'm saying? We welcome anybody to join the convo. Let us know what you think on any of these topics that I'm throwing down here today. Let me make sure the screen's in front of me so I can see when the calls are coming in. Or if any calls come in. All right, phone number's on the screen. 563-999-3479. And if y'all got any topic that you want me to address, let me know. Let me know. All right. Let's see here. Let me see what I'm going with Taxstone. Salute to Taxstone. Taxstone is like one of the original, if not the original, hip-hop, not hip-hop, but real nigga podcast, like street nigga podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like the first place where jail niggas, like it wasn't formulated podcast talk like how it was back early in those early 2016 times and stuff like that when, you know, a lot of people were starting to get into the hip hop side of podcasting. Don't get me wrong. Podcasting is an old medium. However, as far as the hip hop side of things, 2016, I would say, you know, shows like The Brilliant Idiots. There was obviously the first hip hop podcast, which is the Juan Epstein podcast. All right. That's Peter Rosenberg and Cypher Sounds. Okay. I know my history. I used to actually listen to that show. And none of these shows had videos. Okay. All of these shows were audio podcasts where, people were just listening to Wagwan. You know what I'm saying? And catching, you know, interviews and just different conversations about the culture and stuff like that. You know, sometimes between people that are known in the culture or people who are just coming up and just, you know, Joe Rogan and his podcast started from 2012. But when Taxstone came in on the Loudspeaker Network, you know what I mean? RIP to Combat Jack. He really started making like street niggas recognize, oh, what the hell is a podcast? Right? And, you know, we came in not too long after in 2017, the We Love Hip Hop podcast. And in Toronto, a lot of people didn't know what the hell a podcast was when we first started doing our shit. So salute to Taxstone. Now, I got the article here, courtesy of ABC News. It says Taxstone convicted, rapper Taxstone. Why do you call him a rapper? Rapper Taxstone convicted of shooting bodyguard during concert. Daryl Campbell, better known as rapper and hip-hop podcaster Taxstone, was convicted Thursday in New York City on manslaughter in connection with the 2016 shooting of a bodyguard during a concert at Irving Plaza. A jury in Manhattan found Taxstone guilty of the shooting and killing of Ronald McFadder and seriously injuring 3 others. He will be sentenced next month for what District Attorneys Alvin Bragg called a tragic and deadly confrontation in a packed New York City music venue. The shooting stemmed from a longtime feud Taxstone had with Roland Collins, known as rapper Troy Ave, who testified against him. Prosecutor said McFadden was Troy Ave's bodyguard. Okay. So this is the case that Troy Ave, he was like, it was him. And Taxstone has been convicted. All right, he's been convicted of killing a banger and hitting 3 other people in the club. He's been gone since 2016. what are we, 2023 now? So 7 years. I don't know what kind of sentence they're going to give him. They might give him life. A man's life has been lost. R.I.P. Banger. You know what I'm saying? Taxstone might be looking at 25 years. That's crazy. Let me know what y'all think about that, man, because, like, Taxstone was a guy out here, bro. He had the interview, one of the most legendary interviews. At first, he had beef with Meek Mill. Okay, if y'all remember that. If y'all can go far back into to podcast history like that. He had beef with Meek Mill, and him and Meek were going back and forth online. And then they had the legendary Maybach interview, where he interviewed Meek in the Maybach. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy that, like, the things come full circle where this guy who really pioneered some shit has to go and sit and do time. But one thing I will say about this case here, when it comes to this Taxstone incident, it has taught us a lot of what not to do as podcasters. Okay? Straight up. A lot of, and not everybody learned from there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people went on and made a bunch of mistakes afterwards and got into incidents on camera or off camera. However, me, myself, I'll tell you this. As a rapper, I was confrontational. You know what I'm saying? Anybody want it, anybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm battling niggas. I'm talking slick. Right? And, you know, I'm like, yo, if anybody got a problem with it, it's on site. However, that has a shelf life. Okay? And there's only so many beef you can have in rap. Like, you're not going to beef with every rapper. Right? So, or just every person. But as a podcaster, you have to also learn how to, like, give your opinions without being, what's the word I could use? Without being a dick, without being harsh, without insulting people. So I can tell you that I don't like your new music, but I don't have to be like, yo, this is garbage. Yo, why are you even making music, fam? Like, yo, these pussy rappers, bro. Like, this is the way that Tax was talking about guys when he was on the podcast. He's like, them niggas suck my dick, son. The niggas pussy. Niggas pussy, son. All these rap niggas, they be lying, they be pussy. And yes, a lot of that may be true. But a lot of these niggas ain't playing, fam. And it's going to be a thing where these guys have pride. So if they see you in person now, after you're talking all this shit about them on your quote unquote podcast, because people didn't even know what a podcast was at the time, then it might result in somebody wanting to see you, wanting to handle handle them talks. What about all that shit you were saying on your quote unquote podcast? Right? Everybody who's in here right now, make sure to hit that like button. Okay, likes are free. Come on now, let's get these likes up. We got people watching right now. Good 22 people, I think, in here. Hit the like, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that has curbed me. There's a lot of rappers who I don't like. Okay? There's rappers who have stood us up for interviews. There's rappers who I just don't mess with at all. Okay? You know, some people who have, you know, said some things in the DMs to me who are, I'm like, you know, I'm not your biggest fan. Fuck your life. But you're not going to hear me publicly saying, oh, that guy, he's a goof because, you know, he stood us up that one time. And this other guy, like, yo, he's a loser because he made us take down the content or whatever. Like, yo, you guys are too sensitive. Niggas need to, you know, pull down your skirts. Yo, what's going on? Like, and calling man's names. Because I gotta go out in the public. And it's not because I'm pussy or anything like that. Why would I want to bring that kind of negative attention to me? So if I don't like somebody's shit, like really on a real level where I feel like I got to say something foul about them, I'd rather not. And if I, you know, give my opinions on stuff that I don't like here on the network, Mind you, we don't like everything. Okay? But there's a way of telling people, I'm not feeling this new tune. Even just saying that, I'm not feeling this new tune, doesn't mean you're trash as a human. And we don't got to say all of that. But you could just, that's all you got to say. I'm not feeling this new stuff. I've heard better from you. I've said that multiple times on this podcast when we're doing the top 6. Like, yo, I've heard better. I've heard better tunes from this guy. Right? But if I'm still come out and be like, oh, this new tune from Ronnie out this week is trash. That's a little harsh, fam. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I don't feel like any of Ronnie's tunes are trash. But there's sometimes, as somebody or like Moolah or any of these guys who put out a high output of music, I'm not feeling every single song that they put out. But when I give my opinion, I'm not like, yo, that shit was garbage. Right? One, I don't feel that way. And two, even if the stuff that I do preview that I do feel is garbage, that's not helpful criticism. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's garbage, fam. Yo, quit rapping, fam. You know what I'm saying? So listen, hold your head to Taxstone. His sentencing will be coming up soon. Not even soon, because it takes time to get to the sentencing for these guys. We're still waiting to see what go on with Tory Lanez to see when his sentencing is coming up. All right? So we'll keep you guys updated.
We love hip hop.